Tardy Kev.
Tardy Kev.
A little harsh. I've only ever once, and I must admit I did so, but I've only ever once missed the start of the game, and it was at Gloucestershire.
I remember.
No,
it was you, wasn't it?
Don't dob me in. I can only remember once. No, this is going back 15 years now.
Well, wasn't it you at Cheltenham? Or somebody was late. It wasn't you. Oh, I know who it was. It was Essex. They were very late.
They're always late.
Yeah.
See all this nonsense about Tardy Kev. If they knew the truth, really. I've only ever once missed the first ball.
I don't think I've ever. I have missed the start of a football match.
Yes.
And I commented. I didn't want to tell anyone, so I did my first report from a car park a mile from the ground.
I did that.
I just hoped it was 0-0. Chances are both ends.
Oh no, I did the preview from a car park, and then got up there just as Nigel Quasi had opened the score for Portsmouth 1-0 at Burnley. 10 hours it took me to get to Burnley. There were 3 accidents on the 3 major motorways going there. 10 hours.
Here is Mr. Higgins bowling his first ball back as a non-Middlesex player, and it's not a particularly good one actually. It's caressed down through the gully, and it's going to get 2 runs. Van Buren chases after it. Robson moves on to 15.
That's very gentle from Higgins. I mean, we talk about him being whippy, skiddy. Both good descriptions, but that was floaty, wasn't it? Yeah, I did wonder that. He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that would have nerves. He'd be tenacious, was the word that Angus Fraser once used to describe Higgins. Yeah, he'd be up for the fight here.
Saw something in his eye, I think.
No, at Gloucestershire once, it was back when I did lots of football. It was Bolton Tottenham at Bolton the night before, and the next morning it was Gloucestershire Middlesex at
here's Higgins again. That's quite floated out. They get a single. Well, they don't. They side against it's pushed into the offside.
And again, stuck in an accident on the way. And I say I missed the first ball.
You didn't miss the first ball, did you? It was more than the first ball.
Middlesex were 25 for 5 when I got on air. It was a one-day match, and it didn't last much longer than that either.
Was it just you then?
It was just. This is when it was just me and Churchy going around the grounds on our own.
Yeah, those golden days. 2 slips in the galley as Higgins. That was a little bit short. It's easily turned away to Miles, who runs around some fine leg, and there's a single. Higgins certainly, I mean, it's only bowled 3 balls, but certainly not as quickly. It was described in the annuals as off spin. This is bonkers. Do they make a printing error? Oh, sorry, I've got a mic on. It's a strange film, this, for the left-handed, because
it's had that error for a long, long while. The right Higgins off spin, yeah.
Well, he certainly isn't, but at the moment, I say, he's not bowling much more above that pace, though, as he bowls, and that's down the leg side. Did he get a touch to that? Was that half a chance to Roderick? Because Roderick is going to go for 4. Let's see what happens.
Roderick's released it.
Ooh, was that a chance?
Ooh.
Well, it was. He flung himself to the right, and did Roderick, and he might have got a little finger to it. I'm not sure if it was a chance. It's always difficult, isn't it, when you feather it down the leg side, and the keeper has to flee himself quite a long way to the right. But actually, Roderick is looking to the heavens. Well, I'll call that a quarter of a chance, but it was certainly a full. He got tucked up, didn't he?
It's a fifth of a chance.
That's a chance left. 39 without loss, and that's a better ball than Higgins defended by.
The Higgins story was quite a good one actually, because he was just regarded as an out-and-out batsman. And then over the winter, I think this is where the off-spin came from. That he probably did just in the nets throw up a bit of off-spin. Maybe, I'm guessing that's where the off-spin mistake came from, because the story as it goes to me, relayed back with the coaches, kind of realised that he had quite good accuracy.
Higgins again. It's a better ball when it's driven though. Pleasantly fielded nicely as well, no run.
But it may well have been, the pre-white ball game nets. So he was going in bowling Yorkers, or the coaches kind of realised, well, hold on, these Yorkers are deadly accurate. Then they said, do this, and he did it. And they said, do this, i.e. where to place the ball, and he did it. They realised he just had unerring accuracy. And so it developed from there. It was like, well, hold on a minute, Hugo, you're not fast, you're not tall. He does quite a bit with the ball, to be fair.
He does, yeah.
But again, that was something that only really they came onto quite late, and all of a sudden, he emerged onto the scene as this wonderful little all-rounder for Middlesex. But I mean, this is why there's pressure on Middlesex this year, though, because of the competition for places that saw Higgins leave, even though the county were desperate to hold on to him. Really wanted him to stay.
Well, he's got his wish, but it's his tailor.
His tailor, yeah, sorry, he's in bowls, and that ball bounce, just nipping up the with the slope. Sorry, it's coming in into the hip of Robson, the right-hander.
The umpires today, Sean O'Shaughnessy. Have you heard of Jay Blake?
Oh yes, I have.
Have you?
Yes. Yeah. He's on loan from the West Indies.
Yeah.
It's a switch up. He had an interesting game at home last week, I would say.
He was there,
There was a few interesting decisions.
He's a bit trigger happy.
He's a bit trigger happy. That's a good reference. That's a good description. Taylor is in bowls, and this is full straight and full defensive for Robson. It's the outside. They're taking a quick single throw at the stumps, which does hit. It's going to deflect away for 4. Yes, so 5 in total. He's unlucky because I tell you what, that was a decent chance of a run out. You know, it's one of those where you think, all right, there's a single. It's a modern single, isn't it? Where in the old days, the fielders never get into that, and probably the batsmen were even thinking, well, it's the ball for that one. But nowadays, you know, there's a single and scampering through. So they were obviously just home, so there was no great appeal.
The English man out is Matt Taylor, who's got 5 runs against his name for a perfectly good delivery, because they took a short chunk single. It was worth a shy, and it just went. It would hit the stumps, which is. I always remember Brian Johnson says that's a silly rule. It hits the stumps. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, is there?
Yeah.
So you're being penalised for a good throw.
That's a good point. Should it be a dead ball on hitting the stumps? I'll have to think that one through. I haven't probably. Here's Taylor. He's in bowls, and Gubbins on the back foot runs into points off the back foot. There's no run. Haven't probably digested that one enough over the years, but yeah, it's a fair point. Speaking of fair points, back to Twitter, where there are very few. Morning Kev, says Peter Mead. I had planned to bring some Irish snacks in for you today, but when I checked the local supermarket, all they had was stout. Well, that could have made for an interesting afternoon session.
Well, that is Irish, isn't it?
Might flick between you and Ireland today. They're raining off at the moment, aren't they? So fingers crossed. That changes Taylor to Gubbins bowls, and forward goes. The left-hander playing defensively. There's no run. Peter follows up. I have the same worry as you. Ryan Higgins could go through the Middlesex batting in a single spell. I have a bad feeling about this.
Well, I have a good feeling about this. But his first over was a little bit innocuous. But I think Chris Dennis said, right, you're going to bowl a lot of overs today, because obviously the pacemen aren't doing too much. One's been off his radar, and of course they've got Benny Howell as well. Frank here and Nima Barnett.
Taylor bowls, just full of length, driven again by Gubbins, and he moves to 25, 48 without loss. Middlesex right in the 8th over. There was a follow-up on the Peter Mead one, which comes from a certain David Townsend. Never heard of him?
No. Who is he?
You'll find 50 is a winning score batting first these days, Peter Mead, says DT. Good morning to you, DT. You're probably not tuned in. You're probably in a press tent in Ireland.
Is he gone to Ireland, has he?
Yeah, I'd be amazed if he wasn't there. Shaming him if he wasn't. He's followed Irish cricket for 20, 30 years now.
Well, it'd be a tragedy if the game was good. I would spend all day in the beer tent. I hope
he's probably been doing a rain dance for a week, hasn't he? The champion of Irish cricket, David Townsend. They finally get a test. This will be a great 5 days in the beer tent. Taylor, past the umpire, he bowls a bouncer, and underneath it, Gubbins lets it through to the keeper. 48 without loss. Robson to have strike on 21. Gubbins 25.
Yeah, it's not a particularly good start with some loss. They bowled the old good ball, but they negotiated the first 40 minutes quite pleasantly at Middlesex. 48 without loss. They got off to a flyer, really, didn't they? A flyer. Having been put in by Gosh. I wonder if Chris Dent had to think long and hard about what to do here. You don't agree?
No, the Void on Twitter. Roderick's released it. I spotted that Python reference, Kevin Hand. Thank you, the Void. Good to have you with us.
There's a chat about the ball with Jack Taylor. Doesn't have nothing to do with him, because he can't bowl. Jack Taylor's now speaking to Sean O'Shaughnessy. Sean O'Shaughnessy. He say, play up. Higgins right over the wicket, and it fades a little bit to Roderick behind the stumps. Roderick sometimes stands up to Higgins. Not on this occasion, though. 2 slips. So Jack
Sean O'Shaughnessy is a great name, isn't it?
Sean O'Shaughnessy.
His wife's a lovely lady. Shauna and Sean O'Shaughnessy.
Let's have the O'Shaughnessy's for dinner. Well, he's a very experienced umpire, of course, as Higgins bowls around him and has played delicately into the offside view. And another option, of course, for Chris Dent. Packed full full of boulders. It's this Gloucestershire side. He could have, well, he's already used Worrell, Taylor and Higgins. He could have Miles, Nima Barnett, Van Buren, Chris Dent possibly, and Benny Howell, who's a tremendous white ball cricketer. So loads of options for Dent. He's got the Higgins as he turns. Also Robson is on 21, and that's a better ball from Higgins. It forces Robson back into his crease and he plays defensively.
Speaking of white ball cricket, a tweet from Alex who says, "Morning Kev, nice to hear Bob commentating in the Championship at Lords rather than the usual one-day out-ground defeats."
That's true, yeah.
Need a solid start and get some batting points for a change. Well, Middlesex have had a very solid start here.
They have. And they've got a strong batting lineup as well. As Higgins bowls again, and that's played rather loosely back, pad very close together, and fielded at mid-on. There is no run.
I was going to say, I'll tell you what, there'll be some determination within Middlesex as well not to let Higgins go through them, because he's good mates with all of these guys. Gubbins in particular, they would have been Eskenazi, they'd have been second 11 cricketers at Middlesex for a long time together. Helm, Harris would have played a fair bit of second 11 cricket with him.
Nothing like one of your old mates though, was that's floated a little bit by Higgins, and a nice shot. That's well played by Robson. He found the gap between mid-wicket and mid-on. They're going to go, it's going to be hauled in from the boundary, and a good bit of fielding by Matthew Taylor. I think they went for 3 then, didn't they?
Yes.
Your primary school critics give Matthew Taylor a standing ovation down there as he hauled it in. Did they have to pay these primary school children down there, do you think? Are they given things to do? At Gloucestershire, when you had primary, at Bristol, they're given, there's bowling machines and inflatables. Keeps them going all day. And there's a nice shot actually, I thought. 50. Oh, the 50's up. In what? How many overs? Only the 9th over.
It's a really good start. Yes, with regards to Higgins, I think Middlesex are very grateful they probably weren't playing him in the first 3 rounds of the season. It was only the 5th, but you know the conditions for the first 2 matches at Lords here, Glamorgan the second match and Northamptonshire the first, stark contrast to what we've got today. Glorious sunshine. A more straw-coloured pitch. There is certainly a grass covering, but not to the extent that we'd seen over the last year, really, where it's been an ever-increasing shade of green.
Higgins goes around the wicket to his mate. Gubbins was on 25, and that's the end of his second over. 10 runs off his first 2. It's been a maiden so far. Taylor's bowled 4 overs, no maidens, none for 29.
Yeah, and that'd be the disappointment for Gloucester at this stage. Not so much that there hasn't been a maiden, but if there hasn't been a maiden, you want that to be the reason that they have bowled at the stumps, and off the stumps the batsmen score runs. You know, at this stage the batsman would love there to be a whole load of maidens. I mean, they'd love it to be 51 without loss. It's a good start for Middlesex, but if there's a whole load of maidens at this point, generally that's because the bowlers are bowling too wide too early in the game, and the batsmen aren't going to engage them. The batsmen have to engage them if the bowling's at the stumps, but it feels like the batsmen have engaged them without being challenged here. So that's something that Gloucester just needs to tighten up.
A couple of balls have beaten the bat.
Taylor's left arm over from the pavilion end. He bowls. It's full straight and clipped away. That'll be 4 more wide of mid-on. Over pitched
after it.
Yeah, it's a long chase, but it is going down the hill, so you'd have thought the ball would win this chase. It's going to be a dive at the end. Oh, that's brilliant. He dived forward over the top of it and flicked it back in and got up and picked it up himself, because it was such a long chase that nobody's managed to catch him up. They've run... Oh, have they run 4? Is it all run 4?
I think it...
Yes, I think it is. We were watching the fielder. It is. It's 4 runs. Bless him. All that effort. 55 without loss. It was a long old chase down there, wasn't it?
He's a great effervescent fielder, is Craig Miles. Yeah, it was 4. All run 4. That's all what you need, isn't it?
Here goes Taylor's response. Yeah, it was just over pitch, that one. He's in now. That's short and cut away. 4 more. Oh, they've got to get the length right here, Gloucestershire. This is just what we were talking about in between overs there, wasn't it? It's 59 without loss. Robson moves to 32, and this looks like a pitch that there will be enough in it for the bowlers if they are tight. Yeah, but if you are not tight, then the batsman will quite happily cash in, especially, you know, you get to a point in the season where those kind of boggy pitches at the start where the ball's not coming on. This one looks as though it's going to be one that the batsman will enjoy if they can get in.
It sits up a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. 59 without loss in the 10th. Here goes Taylor. Balls full and driven, but only as far as points on this occasion. Robin snapped the wrists on that one, didn't he, Robson? It wasn't as over pitched. It was a better length, and as such, Robson did check the shot. 59 without loss. Robson 32. Gubbins 25.
Well, Christian's got a few questions to answer here. I mean, what's he going to do? Taylor has been expensive. He's 37 in 4.5 overs, tells its own story. Warren wasn't particularly penetrative and might be on Craig Miles.
Here he comes, bowls short. It's punched off the back foot by Robson to square leg, but there's no run.
Sorry, Kev, it seems to me that the batsmen got a lot of time out there at the moment.
I think that's been afforded them by the inconsistent lengths of the bowlers. At this stage, it's been, you know, if you were to look at a pitch map at this stage, it's going to be spraying it a fair bit.
Yeah.
Full, short. Whereas you just, I'll come back to that. Here's Taylor, he's in bowls, and this ball is full and straight and driven back to the bowler. But again, watchfully played, because that length there at this stage of the match is where you want to see the pitch map, because it was full of a length, but not full enough for the batsman to go happily forward and drive that back down the grounds. On that length, if the ball misbehaves, the batsman's in trouble. That's why Robson was so determined to keep that bat face open. So the pitch map right now, if it's going to be just fuller or just shorter of length, you want it to be just fuller, as that one was. But at the moment, the pitch map is very full, it's very short, and that's why they've been punished. As here is another bouncer, but that's to get the bowler out of the over. I didn't even have to look at the scoreboard there. I knew that was the last ball of the over. It was the escape from the bowler. It's last ball of the over. Let's bang in a short bouncer and get out of the boat with the dot ball. 59 without loss. Robson 32. Gubbins will have strike on 25.
Yeah, and it's well, I think Chris Dennis got to make a change, because they got into a bit of a rhythm at the moment, particularly off Taylor. 5 overs, none for 37. Higgins, his second over was better than his first. 2 overs, none for 10. And I think it's exactly what Middlesex wanted.
Well, they'll look to Higgins here. He'll know what he's doing at Lords with the slope. Once he had 2 overs, gone for 10 runs. But, you know, all right, you've had a couple of overs, get it tight, full, and that off stump. Yeah, you've got a short boundary here, we should remember as well, which will allow a few more runs to get through.
Sorry, Higgins bowls, and that's played it to the next side. I went, because the wind suddenly blew everything off the table in front of us.
It's a strong wind today. That was why I was tempted to shut the window today, but you said no, open window.
No,
I like it. I'm happy with the window open, but it is a strong wind. It'll be a challenge.
It is a challenge, because then the wind just blew everything up over the floor there. What's this? Lords Ladies versus Marylebone Maidens.
Well, this was the... Yes,
it was. Here's Higgins again, round the wicket bowls, and that's full leg. It's played defensively on the offside.
2 matches played here 2 weeks ago in one day. Middlesex women finally, after 85 years, were allowed to play on the main square at Lords. There was a warm-up match before, and that was Lords Ladies versus Marylebone Maidens.
And that was played on the main square, was it?
That was indeed played on the main square, because there were 2 2020s, you see. So 2020, the main event in the afternoon. In the morning, the Lords Ladies versus the Marylebone Maidens were on. It was a big event that day. There were lots. There was 5,000 school kids in the nursery, and there was all sorts going on. So yeah, there was a game in the morning.
Higgins bowls and that tucked him up slightly, actually, did Gubbins. He played it rather late, got away with defensive on the offside. I tell you what, this Marylebone Maidens side's got some posh people.
Are you surprised?
Melania M.J. Vaggers Webb. Charlotte Villiers Smith.
The first one, it should be added, was a match for fun. So
was it? Oh,
yeah.
Right. Here's Higgins again, and that's a better delivery, defended by Gubbins.
And then the second one was very serious cricket. Sorry, go on.
Dr. Sybil Stackpole for the Lords Ladies.
Oh, is it true? I thought you were making it up.
Captain M.J. Vaggers Webb.
Yeah, well, it was. You see, these were selection 11s in terms of. This was a bit of fun in the morning. That wasn't a serious match. The second match was serious, and it was, to be fair, a selection 11 for the second match as well. When an MCC 11 played Middlesex, and it was a strong MCC 11 with plenty of England players.
He gets again round. That's down the leg side and played towards mid-on where Taylor Fields by Gubbins.
And it was a really good cricket match as well. Middlesex were pushed hard. Middlesex did not think we were going to win that match at all, and they did come back to beat the MCC.
Well, I seem to remember that. I'm not going to get contentious, but Isabel Westbury was here that day. She wasn't that impressed by that game, was she? She said it was
she wanted it to be an official game rather than friendly. Yeah.
Well, she said it was a bit of a patronising, really. Anyway, I'm sure she's listening. That's played just behind square for 1 run. Well, so you can say these things. It's the BBC. What are you looking at?
Should have linked it to a bit of competitive
That's right,
fixture
yeah.
for Middlesex women's team.
That's right. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. She said it, not me.
Yeah. The point being as well that coming out of that game and even going into the game, everybody at Middlesex were really keen that yes, the competitive fixture follows very quickly. It probably won't happen this year because of scheduling issues, of course. But for next year, it's an issue for Lords though. And we have, I should add, on another note that we haven't touched on just yet, I have requested an interview with somebody from the MCC for their comments for the MCC's comment, which we all wait with bated breath really, on the 100. The 100. The protectors of the laws.
I gather you're not a fan, particularly. I may have just picked up the fact you're not a particular fan. I'm not really. I mean, I'm not actually.
Well, who is?
Well, no one.
Other than those that are going to have their pockets.
Well, the farcical thing is a change of bowling, mind you, from the pavilion end is Worrell replacing Taylor.
This is a good move. This is a good move.
He actually has bowled a mate. 3 overs, 1 late, number 10.
Only 3 overs for Worrell from the nursery end. So again, the pavilion end is where the strike bowler wants to bowl from. So generally, everybody wants to bowl from the pavilion end because everybody wants to feel they're the strike bowler. So Worrell turned around. Middlesex will do this quite often. Well, not only here, but where Tim Mercer might have a long spell at one end, and a couple of strike bowlers rotated at the other.
He's holding things up because of the movement. It's a difficult place at the side screen, isn't it? So far over.
Yes. The bowler's bar behind the arm of the right armour who bowls, and this is a full toss first up, isn't it? It's a triple aim between cover and mid-off, and they will pick up a couple here. They'll turn for the third, and Gubbins moves to 29, 63 without loss. Robson on strike on 32. Oh, the pavilion's filled up quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah.
There was, as we both travelled in this morning, every station you stopped at, it was announced that there was trouble on the tubes this morning, but so the pavilion's filled up. There's a decent crowd in the Warner stand over there as well, and the lower tier of the grandstand, but also below us to our right, the Compton is open and looks very busy. Again, these are big stands, 28,000 stadium, isn't it? Or cricket ground, I should say, not stadium, my apologies, rules. So again, it does have an ability to hide fans, and I said 2,000 earlier, I'd certainly say there's more than that now. If you have a look into the long room as well, all the areas in the pavilion that can hide people other than those just sat on the seats outside. As forward goes Robson to the next delivery from the right arm to Worrell, and he has a single in front of points. Robson moves to 33, 64 without loss, and also the Middlesex room over there. Hello everybody, tuned in the Middlesex room. The Middlesex room is where there's a chap coming out of the middle way over there in the Allen stand at the moment, below that scoreboard. That's the Middlesex room behind glass, which will be nice and warm and toasty and cosy right now.
What's this? I got to tweet, I saw gone in funny print. What's that mean?
Oh dear, what have you done? Let's have a look.
It's all gone colourful.
Oh, which I hope you've done. Here is Worrell. His 4th over he bowls. Only goes past the edge. That's the first time in a while. It's drawn a full shot from Gubbins on 29, looking to drive outside the off stump. The length wasn't there for him. Just full of a length, and at this stage, leave well alone. But the line was good. Everything was right about that delivery, because the batsman just about could have left that alone, but only just. He was drawn into the drive. Tightening it up ever more, then that's the area where the batsman's thinking, oh, I'd like to leave this alone, but I can't. So there or thereabouts, Roll, that's where he's got to try and persist. Might have to have a look at lunch. I'll have a look at the end of the over.
It's alright. Don't worry about it.
3 slips crouched down. Worrell is in, bowls, and this is played defensively to the onside, but a little bit of bounce there. That just hit a little bit higher on the bat than Gubbins expected. He plays it to square leg, a dot ball.
You sent me a tweet saying, Bob, you mad man, that wasn't a DM, and was sent to everyone. What was that?
When you went, I'm going to be late, Kev.
I was so after people to know that.
I know you were, I was teasing you.
Oh, you little
You missed the hashtag at the bottom.
Oh,
Don't tell them, Pike.
Oh, I see, yes. I was a bit concerned. A very nice breakfast though, yeah? When you get stuck into an all day, hoops breakfast, the time flashes by. Now I think it's a problem with the ball, isn't there? I know Jack Taylor's brought the attention of Sean O'Shaughnessy to it. And now the umpires have a bit of a discussion about it. Of course, if things aren't going well, what do you blame? You blame the ball.
Yes.
64 without loss, we haven't had an hour's play.
Oh, it's a great tactic. They were at it down at Hove last week, both teams. Ball wasn't quite doing as much as they'd like. Let's see if we get an replacement one as well.
Shall I tell you what I'll do? Shall I give some scores elsewhere?
Oh, if you must.
Don't you do
Oh
that?
yeah, go on, absolutely. No, we do. But I tell you what, while you're looking them up, let me just read through a couple of tweets because I haven't managed to keep up with them all this morning. Apologies for that. There was one about hitting the stumps. That was from. I said I didn't have a chance really to digest the thought of that one because I'm sure there was going to be an answer. And there is. This is just full of late delivery from Worrell beating Gubbins, and there we go. That was the line I was talking about. That's the one where the batsman would have loved to have left that alone, but he can't because if that comes back up the slope, he's in trouble. Jim Frayling says, Kev, if you make it a dead ball once it hits the stumps, fielders have carte blanche to have a shy with no risk, even when batsmen when batsmen are easily going to make it. You'd have delays in the game and an even slower over rate. An even slower over rate is the crucial point for this Middlesex tweet, so say no more.
I can see
Because why are Middlesex in Division 2, Bob? Slow over rates.
True.
-2 last year for a slow over rate. Here is Worrell, last ball of the fourth over. Bowls overpitched and driven for 4. Gubbins moves to 33, 68 for 4, and what was becoming, as it went on, such a good over. He's just overstretched again at the last there and pitched it right up there for the Gubbins drive. 68 without loss, Robson's have strike on 33.
Yeah, beautiful shot through the covers, 33 apiece to Gubbins and Robbins. We've only been playing 50 minutes, 68 without loss, and I think Chris Dent may be thinking, perhaps I should have had a toss after all. But Middlesex have batted well. Well, there's this thing about, I just think it's a shame. Now there's another delay. The umpires are meeting in the middle. Is it ball again?
No.
Here comes a man with a
red
tabard.
beard. What?
Tabard, would you not call it?
Yeah.
And perhaps I don't know, is he giving another ball to the umpires?
Something going on, wasn't there?
Anyway, Higgins is continuing from the nursery end. No, I just think it's a bit unfair because that situation was a good ball from Taylor. They scrambled a single and the throw hit the stumps, and now it diverts crazily. They get 4 runs, it goes for 5. But I don't know. There's so many things that need to change. Anyway, what was this going Division 1? Worcestershire, Essex. Essex are batting their 34 for 1. Surrey against Yorkshire. Surrey are batting their 39 for 2. Ooh. Somerset against Hampshire. Hampshire are batting their 48 for 1. And Notts against Lancashire. Notts are 30 for 1 as Higgins bowls again, and that's left by Robson outside the off stump. So there's a wicket in every game there.
Are those are both feared Surrey openers, England potential openers out in the Surrey game? And saw some chats this morning about Stoneman and Burns.
Burns and Stoneman both out. You gave a little fist pump of pleasure then, didn't you?
Sorry.
Oh well.
England hopefuls. How are the 2 England hopefuls going at Lords? Robson and Gubbins.
They're doing pretty well actually. 33 each as Higgins bowls, and that's defended by Robson on the offside. Division 2 now then. Warwickshire against Northants. Northants are in trouble. They're 37 for 4. Leicestershire against Glamorgan. Leicestershire are 20 for 3.
Ooh.
Kent against Sussex. Kent are 35 for 1. They must have had a toss then. And Derbyshire against Durham. They must have had a toss there. Derbyshire batting. They're 53 without loss. As Higgins bowls again, he floats that one, and that's a good ball. That could have gone anywhere actually. He tried to turn it into the onside, and it was one of those ones that hit the bottom of the bat, could have dribbled towards his stumps, but it's successfully negotiated. And the only other score is here, when Gloucester Middlesex is 68 without loss. So he easily got the most number of runs, and then Gloucester got the least number of wickets at the moment. Of course, there's a long way to go. Add 2 wickets onto the scoring, etc. As Higgins bowls, and that's guided into point. There is no run.
Something somewhere talked to us there, didn't it? All these machines, newfangled things, somewhere talked to us. Morgan and Finn, writes Luke Hearn. What madness is this? Morgan and Finn in the Middlesex Championship side. Well, Finn, to be fair, you do see quite a lot of Finn for Middlesex over the last few years. He's always, if he's available, he does try to play Finn.
Higgins again, bowls and it's guided just wide of point. Van Buren feels there's no run. Well, Morgan, I don't know, I'm sure this is slightly tinted. Whenever Morgan's played, he's failed. The one-day games, he's always got naught. He got naught at Cheltenham, I'm sure. He often
the Gloucestershire hoodoo over Middlesex.
Yeah, well, I
the
can't
individual as well. Well, just Middlesex in general fail when they play Gloucestershire, don't they?
Of course, you've never beat us at 2020.
Is that still the case?
I don't know. Higgins, I don't think so. Higgins bowled again. Well, it always used
I thought
to
they
be.
did.
Did you
Wasn't it
last
year?
year?
Got it
I think it
over
might have
the
been
150th attempt.
because that was when Higgins got big runs at Cheltenham, wasn't it?
No, that one they still fell short, didn't they? I think then required something like
that
2
was a
off the
great
last ball,
game, wasn't
and a tie, didn't it, or something? Or was that what broke it? The tie broke it. I'm sure Middlesex.
It was a tie. It was a tie, wasn't it? We should know this, shouldn't we?
Our brains failed that night at Merchant Taylor's. Merchant Taylor's school, when basically it was so cold that the memory aspect of our brain no longer functions properly. We were frozen.
I think it was a tie at Cheltenham.
Sorry, I was going to go on a rant about the 100. You finish that one first.
No, I think it was a tie because that was the game when Simpson got upset because he was a nice chap because he hit someone in the crowd.
Oh,
don't you remember that?
I wasn't there. I was in.
Oh, you were in Los Angeles on a stag weekend.
That's it. A wedding. You Los Angeles there? I wish.
It was a stag weekend. You told me.
A wedding in San Francisco, but you were close, Bob. Here comes Worrell beginning his 5th over, his 2nd from the pavilion end, a 4 defensive from Gubbins, there's no run, 68 without loss. Yes, that was on the back of the pink ball experiment at Essex, and then they went off and lost at Warwickshire. No, they won at Warwickshire. Sorry, they won at Warwickshire and lost here to Warwickshire last year.
No, that was. I'm sure it was a tie in the end. Simpson, nice chap that he is, he hit a 6 into the crowd at Cheltenham. He hit someone. And he was very concerned about it. You could tell. I mean, this point they called the ambulance and everything. He survived, the bloke. Fortunately, he was led away, muttering.
Worrell to Gubbins, who looked to withdraw the bat.
Just short, I think.
Just short, I think. Yeah, he was trying to withdraw the bat in the end, wasn't he? It goes back to that Robson one earlier, where I think fair enough he was withdrawing the bat, and you said, well, was he? Wasn't he? The reason why it's not wholly clear is because, like that, Gubbins is withdrawing the bat, but it's that area of uncertainty. And if there's an extra bit of bounce, as there was there, then all of a sudden, fortunately for Gubbins, it went straight into the ground off pretty much the face of the bat.
It hit Dent on the shin.
Oh dear. Oh, he's limping away.
Wobbling around.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it must have fallen.
He looks like you after you get up from a commentary scene. Oh dear. Actually, that's more DT than you, I suppose.
Oh no.
Sat in the chair for too long, everything's got a bit numb. Here's Worrell, bowls, and 4 goes pushing back up the track, 68 without loss.
I think Worrell's putting his back into this way a little bit more from this pavilion end. No, that was, and I thought what a nice chap he was because he insisted, he helped play up and insisted on walking over to the man to make sure he was all right. And he wasn't in a hurry. He said, "No, I'm going to wait till," and it obviously affected him. But everyone thought, what a nice man.
Didn't they need something like 16 or 18 off the last over? I wasn't at the game, but didn't they need something like that? And then they needed 2 to win off the last ball. He got 1, and it was a tie.
It was a tie. It was a great game.
The Higgins match.
Yeah.
Worrell bowls and Gubbins leaves alone. Now that one does come back up the slope slightly. The keeper, you can see, just took it away from the slips. So there's a bit of movement out there, and they just now seem to be getting into a little bit more of a groove. Worrell to the pavilion end, and Higgins asked to do a job. He's only conceded 2 off his last 2 overs, hasn't he? His first 2 over 10. So they're just now starting to get to it, and also cloud cover's just blown in, which always helps.
It does, and they've been on 33 each for a couple of overs now, which doesn't sound much, but it is. They've slowed things down a little bit,
and that's the job now for Gloucestershire. Not to give up on attacking, but they've got to stop the runs first. As this ball's on a length, good from Worrell. This is better now, 68 without loss. It feels more of a contest now as we hit the hour mark, whereas before Gloucestershire, I don't know, maybe overexcited. And it does happen. They go out there and they think, right, first hour at Lords, things always happening with the slope. The sun was out is a big thing at Lords, more than any other ground in the world, it seems. Look up, not down. Chris Rogers used to talk a lot about it. When the sun's out, Lords is just a great place to bat. All of a sudden, a bit of cloud cover blows in, and
but it's a big cloud